and decided to undo all the work.
Well, I would have done it anyway. So,
Anyway,
that kind of excuse we say. Oh,
yeah.
even if I hadn't worked, I'd have done this anyway. So, what's a
Okay.
big deal? Yes, but it was good. Ended up in his house. We had some good chat. Anyway, let's get into our Drive Safe campaign.
Yeah, and our Drive Safe campaign is brought to you by Joy News and Multimedia Group, supported by Toyota Ghana Company Limited. Toyota superior quality, and avoid all distractions. Keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. That's how to ensure your safe arrival.
All right, let's learn how to say it right. And it's brought to us by Korba Payment App. Korba, our lives simplified. Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa. And Kingdom Books, our Kingdom quality and affordability is our hallmark. We'll bring you say it right shortly, but time for the newspaper review.
Absolutely, and it's brought to you by First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different, and Star Assurance, your solid partner. I'll start with the Daily Graphic newspaper on the front page. Grain Authority in the offing seeks to address perennial food price hikes. Presidential term limit appropriate, says President Akufo-Addo, and NDC doesn't want IPAC functions changed. According to Esiedo Inketia, the General Secretary, he's making some clarifications. He's been explaining that the NDC's proposed legislation sought to guide the formulation of the IPAC and determine who attended its meetings and how inputs made at such meetings would be adopted as the final consensus of the committee to make it more effective. Remember, Dr. Farijan came out not too long ago to say that changing IPAC from a mechanism through which political parties offered suggestions to the EC to a body whose functions were backed by law would interfere with the independence of the Electoral Commission as enshrined in the Constitution. So Siedu Nketia is trying to make the NDC's position very clear on this. On the back page of the paper, though, fire officer dies in rescue operation. One of the heartbreaking stories over the weekend, where we're told some people were trapped in a well, and this officer, got onto the scene to help them, and he ended up drowning and dying. In the meantime, those who were caught up in the well have been rescued. They're responding to treatment, we're told. Really, really sad ending for the late Aso Joseph Baidu.
But it's a sad one. But the fact that, as a fire officer, he tried to rescue these persons, lost his life instead, and these persons have been rescued. I mean, I've seen people saying that he should be honored posthumously, and I agree. These are the sort of people.
He's a hero.
He's a hero you want in the country. I mean, he put his life.
Selfless, yeah.
So very selfless.
Yeah.
Risked his life, died in the process to save others.
Exactly.
And these are the kind of persons who should assume leadership position in the country, because all things being equal, they'll do things right.
It was just when he was being pulled out of the pits that the rope that was tied around his waist, loosened, and then he just went down.
And the interesting part is how many people like this particular gentleman sacrifice for the nation, unrewarded, in very poor paying jobs, and yet the only thing they feel excited about is the sacrifice they are giving for this republic. Unfortunately, I mean, we are not a state that really takes care of its own, so you wouldn't expect much. Years down the line, we come and be debating whether his amounts to him and other things have been paid or he's been honored and all of that. But it's exciting to know there are people like him alive, people who believe that I can work, do my job diligently, and not be exploiting the state in many ways and still do it without any recognition at all. Hopefully, we exhort these people as examples to the rest of the country.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Just the last one before you come in, Ray. A woman aged about 70 and her grandchild were last Saturday night knocked down and killed by a speeding vehicle between English Amanfro and the Gas South Municipality and Kaswa in the Utu Senya East Municipality in the Central Region. Another very tragic, sad ending there.
Yeah. Anyway, now, the final is reporting this morning that 1D1F, how 22.1 million Ghana cedis loan revived Dako Farms. And I'm sure you know Kabana Dako's Dako Farms, right? Very historic farms there. Those were the times we felt our poultry industry was going to be one of the best in the sub-region. We're going to export to other countries and we're going to do great things. But luckily, it's been revived. Yeah. What the interesting part I heard in this story is that they are now in talks with KFC, the firm, to provide them 100,000 beds monthly. And one should be interested in such systems so that we can be self-sufficient in some of the places that we think we should have. In any case, we spent almost 380 million, more than 2 billion importing poultry every year. I mean, when about 2 decades ago, we actually exported chicken to neighboring countries when Daco Farms was at the peak of its operation. And the national demand is like 400,000 metric tons, which we are unable to deliver. We deliver like only 57,000. So that's why I have frozen ones all over the place. I know some men who insist that I can never consume frozen chicken from anywhere. They feel it's substandard. I know some men who insist on that.
I insist that
Yeah.
you don't buy chicken from the market.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have.
You're aware of them, right?
Yes. Oh no, I have I have it slaughtered.
Yes.
And then prepared, and we freeze it ourselves. I mean, so I know where it's coming.
Yeah, so you know it's your own frozen chicken.
Yes, my
Always.
Anyway.
Is that to say you don't buy food from the restaurant?
Well, I mean, when I go to the restaurant, I'd avoid chicken. All things being equal, But that's how I like my.
So we're importing 80% of the poultry in this country. We need to make sure we make up for the rest, and this is a step in the right direction. There's a story, an additional story, which is interesting. It's talks about the colonial ties and how. It's Dr. Messan Malbe's report. It says Africa's colonial affinity is influencing African journalists and your news reporting. So Ghana will be what, the UK. Yeah. So I suspect that this may be true. Looking at how Mavi has been reading the news, it is clearly with the Queen's English. So it's influence is big time. But I mean, he's talking about how we frame stories and all of that. Anyway,
if you go to Cardiff University website in those days, when they talk about the countries that has a lot of students, there's a special mention of Ghana.
Yeah.
And in those days, the best journalist of Ghana would be sent to Cardiff to enroll on the Thompson Foundation course. And so, yes, you go there and you're, introduced to the independent newspaper house style, where they write for newspapers, the BBC style for, the television. So, yes, all things being equal, you'll be influenced.
Mavi style. Anyway, now one more story. Otufor backs Rockshore to succeed in bauxite business. And this, we are told, happened over the weekend. And that's when the officials of Rockshore and the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation came in. I know this is important because the whole of last week we'll be having conversations about the aluminium industry and its source, the bauxite industry. Bauxite industry, which is supposed to be feeding Sino-Hydro 2 billion, and the difficulties that the Sino-Hydro project is experiencing. But there's a point or two made about letting others who are supposed to be involved in that industry join, especially when they are Ghanaian. He made reference to Exton Cubic, which is related to Ibrahim Mahama, which had some difficulties with government because of his previous operations. I was prevented from proceeding with production or work on this area. So he said that we should be more inclusive in our plans. And that's also on the front page of the Finder.
Well, let's get to the Chronicle for today and 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 4. Friday when I was late, you didn't read the scripture. You see why people think that I'm the one who brings the scriptures. Beloved, the scriptures...
In fact, I was going to make reference to it.
Good morning to Mr. Usabuaji.
That's what actually thought that. He says the scriptures from wherever. You get inspiration from somewhere and you deliver by starting with the scriptures. And I said, no, it's actually in the papers.
It's in the papers.
So
yes,
Clyde is in the papers.
Yes, it's not from me. But
so it's not made up.
2 Timothy chapter 2,
not
verse
that
4.
godly or gospel inclined to know all of those scriptures by himself.
I'm a pastor in the making. It says, no one serving as a soldier gets entangled in civilian affairs, but rather tries to please his commanding officer. Akufo-Addo speaks on presidential term limit. Coup d'etat can be avoided if. You're talking about the need to actually limit terms, so you're looking at 2 terms, and so you know that all things being, you know that after 2 terms, another person will be president. So in Ghana, when Rawlings served 2 terms, we knew that, yes, Ghanaians could have decided on voting the NDC, but certainly not Jerry John Rawlings continuing as president. Same with John Agyekum Kufuor. After 2008, we knew that he wasn't going to be president again. He left. Nana Akufo-Addo after 2024 elections, he won't be president. of the Republic of Ghana. So he's been talking about the need to stick to that.
Yeah, but the African countries do it, and we just watch them change their constitution
Yeah.
and go again.
No, the difficulty really is that, generally, the ECOWAS heads of states actually frown on the conduct of having to change 10 limits. In fact, the ECOWAS protocol on good governance says that within 6 months of the election, do not attempt to change the election laws. But the problem with our people is that we know what is right. We pretend, and even for somebody like, and let's be fair, all of this is because of Alpha Conde. For somebody like that, with its educational background, with his institutional background, one would have expected better from him. And mindful of the history and his attempt to be president and how he has been treated over the period, somebody like that who gave hope to that country for a democratic path shouldn't be the one pursuing
So
this one.
what did we do? What did ECOWAS do? How did they remind him and stop him
actually,
from changing the
To
constitution?
be fair, they couldn't have stopped him.
No, they can't.
Because there's a fine line between intervention and interference. So it sounded more like let's get him to do what is right. Let's talk to him more. And I know people, including former heads of UN missions, that who are all over the place advising him that the path you are taking is dangerous. If you do not stop it, you might end up where he is currently anyway. But sometimes power corrupts.
Yeah.
Absolute
And
power.
like former President Kufuor said, power has a way of tricking people. You're not careful.
Yeah,
it will trick
you
into
think
doing
that
the
you
wrong
have
things.
everybody behind you.
Dampare has vindicated me. That's Akufo-Addo. And I'm sure there are many Ghanaians who would agree that the appointment of George Akufo Dampare as IGP has been a great one. And we've seen the changes within the police service.
But he's still acting,
He's
IGP?
still acting, yes. He's still acting. The former IGP, who back on his terminal leave, I think, was born, should end in October. So all things being equal, you'd have Dampare confirming anytime soon. But MPP polling station registration is still ongoing, according to John Boedu, who's the General Secretary of the MPP. He's been speaking. And that Corporal Agatha Nabin killed over business that went bad. You know of the death of the policewoman? Corporal Agatha Nabin. Well, we're told that sources close to the family has revealed that her death could be linked to some illegal business dealing she was involved in. However, the alleged partner in the illegal business was not in the northern sector of the country at the time of the murder. Well, investigations are still ongoing. Well, this is what the family is saying. Let's see stories on the back page. Messi suffers first PSG defeat. Man United draw with Everton to continue unimpressive home results. The question is, what is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doing as Man United manager?
He must go. Watching Man City and Liverpool yesterday, you see the managers and you're like, aha, this is what you want in
But don't
Manchester
be surprised
United.
that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will put one fast one on Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola. He'll beat them, and then you will think that everything is all right. Barakwanasa.
Let's jump into the Daily Guide newspaper. On the front page, ex-toll boss charged in U.S. over $2.5 million bribe. I believe in presidential term limits, says President Akufo-Addo, and don't be armchair leader, says Otumfo said to the second. He was talking to the president, really. He says, it is good for the president to visit the projects himself. If you listen to report from the people, they will always deliver the positives. But if you visit the projects, you will see the negatives and make necessary changes. So, the president is on a tour in the Ashanti region. And this one that has to do with the ex-toll boss says the Tema Oil Refinery boss, Asantike Bekun, who resigned in 2020 following reports in the U.S. that he facilitated the payment of bribes to government officials and some MPs during an emergency power contract arrangement under the Mahama-led administration, has been charged. So the U.S. securities regulator last Monday charged Mr. Bekun, a former banker at a subsidiary of a U.S. bank, for arranging at least $2.5 million in bribes to be paid to Ghanaian government officials to gain approval for a client's power plant project. Well, the backstory is in the paper. You can grab and read. And then on the back
Isn't that
page,
interesting? What happened to the 350,000 or so that was paid as settlement? Because we were told earlier in June, yes, that some settlement was paid, some $350,000 or $25,000 as settlement with the SEC for this matter to be closed. I don't know why it's back up again.
well, It's been resurrected, like it's fresh.
Well,
All right, on the back page, there's one story of interest. Liverpool manager likened refusal to take the COVID-19 vaccine to drink driving, saying such people endanger others. Interesting.
I agree perfectly. I agree 100%. Anyway.
All right, that's it for the Daily Guide.
Now, let me go to the Ghanaian Times, and it's reporting this morning that the Registrar General of the World Path, 100,000 dormant companies to go, as maiden cleanup exercise to delete names from database happens in there. I'm just hoping we have a proper appreciation of whether these companies have not died out because it's difficult to do business in Ghana, or they are just not people regularly updating their records. But we should have a study that tells us more about this company, because if each of these companies actually had a single employee, this is 100,000 people who may not be employed. So it's on one side, go to clean up your system, but we should know more about these companies, because there's a study that's suggesting that as for 70%, you are more likely to fail if you're a startup in this country compared to even countries like Nigeria, where the numbers are very low. Anyway, so that and other stories, including WASI candidates cautioned against destruction of school property. They say if you can't pass, don't learn, don't destroy the school's property anyway. And President Akufo-Addo is urging ECOWAS to outlaw the third-term bid. The rock shock story is also here on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. There are a lot more stories. One to do with, it's not frivolous. This is from My Jaw Online, which is being quoted by Ghanaian Times. It's not frivolous for nation to acquire presidential jets. This is Kofi Bentil, Senior Vice President of Imani Africa. But of course, he gave some caveats to it, and a lot more conversation have been happening. Except that the only time this presidential jet matter has been like an albatross on government's neck, virtually every statement from government has avoided the main question and sought to answer some, the lizard part of the question in the conversation. So hopefully, government will, if they want to do a press conference, issue a statement and clarify all of their amounts. But at least now, if you are believing the
Will
stories,
they?
Yeah, yes, why not? I mean, that's how governments do, right? That's how progressive governments behave. That's not.
Let's get to the Business and Financial Times back page. Only 11 banks are 5-star rated as a maiden banking consumer satisfaction index report
My
launched.
bank is not one.
I don't know why my bank is not 5-star rated, because it should be.
Well, we'll find out. Prepared by the Chartered Institute for Marketing Ghana. We'll find
Brilliant.
out. Your bank.
I'm convinced my bank is not on the list. But
No, your
that's
bank
not-
is a 4-star rated, Raymond.
Oh, yeah.
Your bank
By
scored,
God's grace.
your bank scored 90.4%.
Hey!
That's actually
The
saying
other one, oh.
90 points.
4.
Hey.
To be a 5-star
But
rated
we're
bank,
aiming
you
at
should get
100%.
91.
91.
To 100%.
Hey.
Others,
So we're almost there.
You're almost there. You're
Oh,
almost there. You're
wonderful,
almost there.
wonderful.
And the front page, TUC fears trade capture and after by EU, others over tariff elimination. And Otumfo endorses GearDex strategic partner for Project 2, Rockshore International. And almost 800,000 miners labor in agricultural sector. Canker endemic in cocoa, mining and fishery sector. The Rainforest Alliance moves to curb menace. So that's it for the Business and Financial Times.
Can I say good morning to my relationship manager, who is not supposed to be my relationship manager, but I have refused to let her go, Regina Bar Mante of Stanbic Bank. Good
Okay,
morning.
let's get to the online news review. But this morning, our friends from EcoBank will be joining us. And just so you know, when it comes to customer satisfaction in Ghana, EcoBank is rated number 1. And as we mark, customer service,
No
week,
surprise
they'll
there.
be joining us here
No surprise
on the
there.
Super Morning Show. But time now for the online news review brought to us by Zenith Bank. In your best interest, Goil Good Energy and Enterprise Life, no matter how much you make for a living. Enterprise Life has life solutions carefully crafted for you. Enterprise Life, your advantage.
Listen, Goil has good news for you. Goil is rewarding its prepaying Go-Card customers with 2 pesos discounts per litre on fuels. You also enjoy discount on lubricants at Goil stations nationwide. So elevate your goodness by joining Goil Go Club today and enjoy up to 3 pesos per litre discount on fuel. Amazing discount on lubricant purchases and free life insurance cover provided by My Life Insurance. Accrue and contribute loyalty points to a social group to fund an approved CSR project, and above all, enjoy exclusive Goil branded campaign gifts. So join the Go Club by visiting Goil stations or offices. You can also visit the website registration.goil.com.gh and all Goil social media platforms. Individuals, corporate, family, and social groups join the Go Club now. GOIL, good energy.
And Monday the 4th to Friday the 8th of October is Global Customer Service Week, and we at Zenith Bank wish to thank our cherished customers for banking with us. We truly appreciate the relationship we share with you and wish to assure you of our commitment to continuously deliver a fulfilling customer experience. Happy Global Customer Service Week. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. But of course, Say It Right is not right.
Something must be done.
You say either. I say.
Nimwizi.
Kojo.
Today's word is nibbling.
Nibbling, as in taking small bites out of something?
No, I mean nibbling with one B. So N-I-B-L-I-N-G. It is the gender-neutral term for a nephew or a niece.
Oh, as in if Dennis was my brother, I'd never be able to count my nibblings.
Based on a true story. And that's exactly how you say it right.
Let's bring you the BBC News. It's brought to you by Fidelity Bank, Believe With Us, and Sethi Brothers.
Just as you carry your favorite club, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, close to your heart, the club also brings ultimate care for you, your family, and your property through Fabu Assure. Fabu Assure, powered by Star Assurance, provides ultimate cover for your vehicle, either through comprehensive or third-party cover. Protection for your home against fire, natural disasters, or burglary under homeowners policy, and peace of mind with the travel policy. Support your champion team and also enjoy reliable insurance cover from Star Assurance through Fabu Assure. Check with your circles and sign up for a policy or call 0507 03 9891. Asante Kotoko, Kumapima, Apimbeba. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I nearly gave up on driving out of frustration. What hadn't I done? Purging, replacing electrical parts, changing my fuel pump, and still the engine noise in my car won't stop. Then I met this guy who said I should try Goil Fuel. By the way, my name is Thomas. I did try Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now my car is renewed. Yankonkwa!
Goil stocks only higher grade fuels, further enriched with